welcome to the second devlog of my RPG. Today I want to show you everything I accomplished in February. My goal was to at least finish programming the combat system. And did I succeed? No, not even close. But I have an excuse. For one, I lost a whole week because my PC decided to throw out some blue screens. Just for fun, I guess. So, I had to figure out what its problem was. I still get the occasional blue screen, usually right when I haven't saved for a while, but I've learned to deal with it appropriately. But I did do something else this month. A lot of drawing. I reworked almost all the graphics in the game world. In the last devlog, I said I was pretty happy with the graphics, but that only lasted a few days before I thought, nah, this doesn't fit at all, and I can do better. So I basically scrapped everything and started over. Well, not everything. I still like the characters, so they were spared for now. Though I do plan to tweak them slightly. In the background you can see how the world looks right now. I'll show you some comparisons to last month's version while I ramble about what and why I changed things. So, let's get started. First off, I think I've gotten a lot better at pixel art, which allowed me to draw more complex things and no longer rely on AI. In fact, everything is now hand-drawn. The only thing that still has traces of AI is the trees. I kept the AI-generated outlines but fully recolored and animated them myself. If you're curious about how I did it, I have a short on my channel showing the process. The problem with the AI-generated textures was that they just didn't blend well with the rest of the game. Most of the time they had way too many colors. So, I tried limiting each surface to just 3 to 5 colors, and I'm really happy with the result. At least until tomorrow, then I'll probably redraw everything again. I also reworked the shadows. Before, it was either shadow or no shadow. Now, there's a smoother transition, which I think looks much better. However, this created a problem. When the player walked over a shadow, their own shadow would combine with the world's shadow. To fix this, I used a mask so that only one shadow would be visible at a time. But this solution didn't work anymore with the new gradient shadows. So I needed a new approach. At first, I wanted to write a shader to calculate everything. The problem? The most complex thing I've ever done with shaders is adding an effect, or changing an object's color, and that was in Unreal, not Unity. So I watched a few tutorials. I understood shaders a little better afterward, but I was still nowhere near my goal. That's why I asked someone who, hopefully, knew more than me, ChatGPT. Unfortunately, ChatGPT also couldn't figure it out, so I went back to watching tutorials. I eventually got something working, but it required me to create 3 different textures per shadow, which was not the ideal solution, so I took a step back. Maybe I didn't need a shader at all. And yes, that was the answer. My final solution, I added a second camera that only sees the shadows. This camera follows the player just like the main camera. Every frame, it converts its image into a texture. That texture then has a shader that processes each pixel and adjusts the alpha value accordingly. Finally, the texture is overlaid on the world like a UI element. This way, the main camera only sees the finished shadows and not the raw ones. And now I can walk over shadows without it looking broken. But enough about graphics. I also want to show you the part of the combat system I worked on this month. Feel free to ignore the graphics for now. They're all placeholders. Since this battle is a tutorial, only certain commands are available. In this case, just attack. You can select an enemy indicated by the boxes that appear above them and deal damage. The enemy then attacks and deals damage to you. One attack reduces health, the other stamina, which is required for every move. However, stamina regenerates slightly each turn. Next, the player is instructed to defend, which increases stamina regeneration and reduces damage taken. The enemies attack once more, and that's it for the battle. I know it's pretty hard to follow right now since there aren't any visual indicators. This is just a small preview of the combat system. Hopefully, by the next devlog, I'll have made a lot more progress in this area. Maybe I'll even introduce a brand new main character. However, I still have several graphics I want to improve, so I'm not sure if I'll get around to working on the combat visuals. We'll see. Also, this month I've been practicing music composition, and I'll continue next month. I can now compose melodies, but they're still not great. At least not good enough for me to share them here just yet, but maybe next month. And that's my progress for February. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate a like. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment. And if you don't want to miss any future videos, consider subscribing. The next devlog will be out on April 6th, as always on the first Sunday of the month. And if you don't want to wait that long, I'll also be uploading shorts throughout the month. Thanks for watching and hopefully see you next time. Bye.